Transforming lives in Kericho Women's Prison, the impact of Legal Resources Foundation through UNSMR and EWRM. EWRM stands for Early Warning and Reporting Mechanisms, a committee established to detect human rights issues affecting prisoners and devise solutions to address them. These committees play a critical role in monitoring compliance with the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of the Prisoners, the UNSMR, commonly known as the Mandela Rules. The Mandela Rules outline human rights standards for both prisoners and prison officers, ensuring dignity and humane treatment within correctional facilities. The Legal Resources Foundation, whose presence in prisons is rooted in providing legal aid, human rights education, and monitoring, trains prison officers on UNSMR and evaluates the human rights situation within prisons. As part of this effort, the EWRM committees were established to audit compliance with UNSMR and provide localized solutions to bridge any gaps in human rights standards within prisons. This transformation has been made possible through the generous support of the Swedish Embassy, facilitated by Diakonia and implemented by the Legal Resources Foundation. With this foundation in place, here's how various initiatives in Kericho Women's Prison have contributed to improving inmates' welfare and upholding human rights standards. A major milestone is the Visitors Bay, a facility designed to allow inmates to meet with their loved ones in a private and dignified manner while ensuring security is upheld. This initiative, supported by the Swedish Embassy through Diakonia, not only strengthens family ties but also aids in the emotional well-being of the incarcerated.
We have, when I came in, we were doing visiting to prisoners at the window. But when the Diakonia and the LRF came in, they built for us the visiting bay. We have a visiting bay, and now we are doing the one-on-one visit to prisoners.
The visiting bay, a very special one of its kind that you can see within the institution. It came as a result of the meetings that are normally carried out. For sure, I'm very grateful for the Legal Resource Foundation, because without them we could not have thought that it is that simple to come up with such a structure.
To further uphold dignity, the search bay was established. Unlike before, inmates now undergo searches in a private, respectful manner, ensuring that personal dignity is maintained while security protocols remain intact.
And some of the areas that they have identified and have really materialized, there was a gap in terms of the searching area. That is the strip search, which is part and parcel of prison work. We never used to have a search room. Through the meetings that they have on a monthly basis, this one came up, and by use of local resources, we were able to make an area that can be used for privately searching prisoners when they come into prison.
Recognizing the importance of maintaining outside connection, LRF has also facilitated the construction of a telephone booth, which will soon be operational, allowing inmates to communicate with their families and legal representatives in a controlled and humane manner.
Recently, LRF came when we are giving prisoners are doing their phone calls to the relatives. We were doing it just outside on on what can you say, on just a ground. But when they came in, they introduced a booth, of which now we are doing the telephone calling on a telephone booth, and it's still underway again with on structure.
The prison now also boasts a counseling room for women inmates, providing a safe and private space for them to receive professional counseling. These initiatives, backed by Swedish funding, supports mental well-being and emotional stability, which are crucial aspects of rehabilitation.
The other area that came as a result of this is the paralegal office, and equipping it with the right officers to carry that job and the right materials. Counseling room. Counseling is part and parcel of prison's work. For a long period, the entire time, there never used to be any counseling room, and even the spiritual counselors that we have used to do it in the open air or in the social areas. But now, through the Legal Resource Foundation, we managed to construct a counseling room, and we are very grateful for that.
Additionally, the provision of Mandela laws, a reminder of the rights of inmates under international human rights standards, serves as a daily reference point, empowering inmates with knowledge about their rights and the treatment they deserve.
The billboards that we have within the compound, talking about the rights of the prisoners, their rights on how they're supposed to be searched, the complaint channels that are supposed to be followed, were put up by the Legal Resource Foundation, filling the gaps what were there.
The work of the Legal Resources Foundation, with funding from the Swedish Embassy and support from Diakonia, is more than just implementing policies. It's about restoring dignity, promoting rehabilitation, and preparing inmates for a better future. Through UNSMR and EWRM initiatives, inmates now have improved living conditions, access to counseling, knowledge of their rights, and opportunities to build sustainable skills. With continued support, these changes will not only transform lives inside the prison walls, but also create a ripple effect in communities beyond. Together, we can ensure that every inmate is treated with dignity and given a chance to reform and rebuild. For Haki FM, Nakazwe Diana.